Hi everyone, this is D with D's Divine Tarot 411, and today I'm just going to talk about connection to spirit and how I've cultivated my connection and my relationship with God. For me, God is the creator of creation, and it's been a lifelong process. It's not been like I just started or something like this, or I'm just getting into spirituality. The tarot cards that's a new addition to my spirituality, but it's been a lifelong process. So I'll just go into since I was a kid, basically. I was raised as a Baptist. Um, for Christianity. Well, my grandma was very heavy into that, and still is today, and had my mom, my aunts, and all of that into the church. We were very heavy into the church all the way into my teens, and I just seen a lot of things in the churches over the years, a lot of like scandals and different things where it shouldn't have happened, but it happened to show people that everybody's human, right? We all make mistakes and we're all fallible, but at the same time, these were really, really uh, bad things to happen for the people it happened to because they were like the leaders of the church and they fell from grace, basically. So, in that, people losing faith in those churches and those institutions over the years because of scandals and things like that. There's a lot of people that still are committed and very vigilant in their religion and, go to church every week, Bible study, all of that, and are very involved in all the church activities still. I know my grandma, my aunts uh, are as well, my uncle. So, with that being said, that was always something in my family that I was introduced to as soon as I was born, basically. And so I always had a connection to God. And then when I was little, I went to this awesome church. I think it was called North Love, and they used to like have us like learning Bible verses and all this kind of stuff, and we get treats. So we would get like a bag of goodies, like imagine like Snickers, like the full bars too. Like they really went all out for us, like as kids to learn the Bible and to get adjusted to building a relationship with God. So that church as a youngin was huge for me, and so I really got into Proverbs. That's probably one of my favorite Bible ver- uh, like books, and so I always liked Proverbs and the story about King Solomon and wisdom and how he favored wisdom. So God favored him for choosing wisdom out of everything and blessed him beyond everything. And so I started. We were always in the church. We were going to Sunday school and all of that. But then I had my own personal things with God that like kept evolving my relationship with the Creator, and I would say those things. The sun is burning my neck. But I would say the first one where I really began to trust God, I was 10 years old and I learned to do a backflip. So I'll tell you the little story about me learning how to do a backflip because everybody knows like D and backflips go hand in hand. Well, they did all the way up until a couple years ago when I promised my wife I wouldn't do anymore. I'm 48, so I think I can still do them though. Yeah, y'all. That's my neighbors. She loves Joyce. And so I forgot my train in the start, but so I'm doing backflips, right? So I went to the park the day before, right? And I'm like 10 years old, and I could do like cartwheels and round offs and all kinds of other like I gotta go over here. She's want to see the puppy and all kinds of other flips and things like that. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to put her on camera. But and so I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, so I'm at the park with these other kids. Well, it's just me, but these other kids come, and we got a jungle gym and all kinds of stuff. And even at that time, I was flipping off of the jungle gyms, like doing like cartwheels, no-handed cartwheels, no-handed round offs, front flips, and all of that. But I couldn't do a backflip, right? And so these little kids came to the park, and they were all over the ground doing all these kind of backflips and things like this. And I'm like, how? And they were littler than me. They were like 6, 7, I don't know, but they were little and they were young. And I was like, wow. So I went to bed that night, like, because I was studying them. Every move that they were making, each time they did that flip, I was looking to see, like, how are they doing that? And then so I would try to practice, but I was scared to go all the way back. I kept going to the left. I kept going to the side, either left or right. And so with that, I'm like, I want to do this backflip so bad. So I went to bed that night and I had a dream, right? I had a dream that I could actually do a backflip. So I woke up that day excited, ready to go, ready to do it, ready to get my backflip like solidified in my front yard. So I run outside. My mom's like, wait, where you going? I'm cooking breakfast. I was like, just call me when you're ready, Ma. I think I could do a backflip. I had a dream I could do a backflip, and I want to try it. She's like, you be careful, boy. I run outside and I start trying to practice, and I'm warming up, and then I start to do the backflip, and same thing. I was going to the side, going left, going right, and I was nervous. I was scared. I'm like, God, like, if I go completely backwards, could you please? I know how to do the move. I know how to protect myself with my hands. As long as my hands are up, I can like flip backwards and I won't hit my head. So as long as I do that, could you please protect me from everything else? I don't know why I'm scared. I'm just scared to go backwards. But if those kids can do it, I know I can. So I got real low to the ground, like with my knees all the way bent, and I was like, I'm gonna do it this time. I trust you. I trust you. I'm gonna trust you. And I was bent on my knees and I did a backflip like that, like bent on my knees. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. I did it. So I did it like a bunch more times with my knees bent, and I went completely backwards. So I was like, okay, so you're doing it completely backwards with your knees bent. Now it's time for you to do it completely backwards, standing up without your knees bent. And so I was like, you can do it. You can do it. I'm on my own pep talk. And I'm like all excited. And I'm talking to God, like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so when I did it, I was just, I can't tell y'all how excited I was. Like, because once you do it and you can like do it again without thinking, like you start to, it just becomes second nature, right? And so that's what started to happen. Like I started flipping like every day, um, at school, in the park, wherever I was going, and I got really good at it. I would watch certain martial arts movies, and they be flipping real fast, and then they do no hands or standing in place doing no-handed backflips, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that. Everything that I wanted to do, I did. Self-taught. Like I would teach myself so many different things, and so. And we also had like friends in the neighborhood too that were learning and flipping on mattresses and stuff like that. So anytime you got like someone throw away a mattress, we'd all just use it to do flips on them, and that's how we got better. But yeah, I mean, like to cultivate that from there, and that flipping with my dancing took me way further, like a lot further. Like my first dance contest, my grandma put me in. I'm a little boy. Like after I had learned how to do a backflip, I went to Detroit, and my grandma's like, I put you in this dance contest. My baby's gonna win. I'm like, Grandma, I don't want to be in no dance contest. She was like, oh, you're gonna be in the dance contest. I already told my friends and everybody it's gonna be a big one too. I'm like, what? And so I had no idea how big this dance contest was, but I had to believe what my grandma told me. And so the day of that dance contest, oh my goodness, it was so packed. I have never seen a dance contest this packed before. It was a break dance contest, and I was in Detroit, so I'm originally from Illinois. We're coming to visit my grandma. She done put me in a dance contest, and this is right after I learned how to do the backflips. Maybe like I was like 11 because I had been flipping for a while, and I learned how to do multiple backflips and no-handed backflips by then. But and I could do breakdance moves and all of this. But yeah, so she put me in this dance contest, and I was like, I can't do a lot of the moves that these breakdancers can do. Like I got my own style because I grew up watching like Bruce Lee, so I put like martial arts in my dancing. So while I'm standing up, and then I can go to the ground and do some breakdancing as well. So we got a nice arsenal when it comes to dancing and my own style of dance. So yeah, my grandma put me in this contest, and so it got down to the last of us in the contest. I mean, I can't believe how packed it was. And so we're dancing, and it comes down to the last three of us. And then so they wind up kicking one dude out, and then it was me and this really, really, really talented dude. I really felt like he really won, but I was younger, probably cuter, and the backflip sealed the deal. So they made us do a second round. Um, it was a tie, and then they was like, "Okay, you're gonna do one more round," and I picked like the Fat Boys Are Back, like for my like last song for the battle song, like for the last song. And so I was like, the Fat Boys Are Back, and you know they can never be whack. That was the song I chose for my last round. But somehow I pulled it out the bag. I was doing a bunch of I did like 10 backflips in a row. And then I think I did one no hands. The crowd went crazy. But the guy before me, I mean, that I was battling, he could like spin on his hands and jump up and all kinds of like windmills, and he was amazing. But I won, and my grandma was like, I told you you was gonna win. And she took me to the mall to spend the money that I won and get some new clothes and stuff. It was an amazing experience. But yeah, that was my first dancing experience. But it's all stemming from my relationship with the creator. And even when I was scared of the dancing, I talked to God, and he was like, you can do it. This is who you are. You're a dancer. Just do it. And so once I start dancing, it's okay. Like I'm fine. But it's the nervousness before the dancing. And so from there, I would say I've had so many testing things in life to try me, like family, on drugs and things like this. And so a lot of times survival mode and things like this, and just trying to do the best you can. And so I always had to stay connected with the creator. I got into some things, some knucklehead things with friends, but none of us were really bad guys except for the ones who were, and then they got locked up. But for the most part, yeah, we were good guys, like the people I ran up with, and most of us got kids to this day, and got their own house or place, and they're, you know, very good in with their family life and contributing to community and all of this. So contributing to community and all of this, and good people. So none of us were really bad people, but we had a lot of trying things in life. And like I say, it's two worlds here. It's the system, and it's the creator's place. So the system, you pay to live. You got to eat, drink. You need shelter. You need lights. You need heat. You need electricity. So you pay for all this stuff with your lifeblood. You get a job and you do this and that. But in the creator's place, there's mass. Hi, lovely. You have a good day. I'm on a video. Okay. Thank you. And so that's Joyce, my next door neighbor. She's a sweetie pie. And so, and all of that, like, I'm losing my train of thought again. Come here, Daisy. You got to come back, baby. Good girl. And so I've always been connected to the creator. Like I've always talked to God. But this is the major one. Okay, I'll tell you, this is like probably the biggest thing that ever happened to me. There were other things like where we were stuck on the side of the highway, didn't have a way out. Like the things that we needed, we didn't have because it was raining in the mud. And God sent an angel who had exactly what we wanted, showed up, got us right out of there in 5 minutes or so. And we looked and he was gone. So things like that, yeah. All kinds of things where spirit has helped us out. But this particular time was we had, so my mom and pop, they didn't have the best relationship. My mom winded up leaving my pop for my dad for the lifestyle, like how he was towards us and him and her. Let's just say it was like verbally abusive and sometimes physically. But at the same time, my dad only knew what he knew from his parents. So this is an issue going on generation to generation. If you don't learn better, then you repeat what you learned. But anyway, in this situation, my mom was dating a preacher. Uh, this was after my mom left my dad. And I'm going to do a video about how she's my hero another time. But so we moved to the projects, basically, to Fairgrounds Projects in Rockford, Illinois. And I was there from my teens when my mom left my dad. Then she remarried, got with this other guy. And then, so she's with him, and he's like a pastor, but he was a recovering drug addict at the time, like heavy drug, like crack addict or whatever. And so I'm like having this issue because we had a really good relationship. He was an awesome guy. I mean, like, I liked him a lot. Like, he was just head on the ground. Like, he was a good dude, like someone I could confide in. But so I was dating this girl, okay? So I'm at this, I'm new to the projects, probably been there a week, 2 weeks, something like that. And so I go to this, I'm dating some girl. I don't even remember who it is, but because I'm like 13 or 14 or something like that. And I'm but I'm a scrawny dude. I probably look like I'm 12. I could have been 12. Anyway, no, because I remember coming home from school. Okay, so this is what happened. I'm in this laundromat. I'm on a payphone. For any of you who are too young to know about payphones, well, you used to put your money inside this payphone, and then you tap the buttons. There was no cell phones. You had to physically go to a payphone and make a call, right? So I'm at this laundromat, and they have this table, like it's pretty like a high table, so you can fold your clothes and all of that, get them prepared to put in the laundry and all of this. And so I am sitting on that. I had just hung up with her, and then I sat on this table, and in comes like this gang of guys. And mind you, I'm this little scrawny, like, dude, like I'm a little boy. Like, even though I'm like probably close to a teenager, you might not think so. I'm that little at that time. And so they all surround me, and they were like, yeah, we see you got your hat to the left. Now, mind you, I'm not in a gang or nothing like that. I just got my hat backwards, and I guess it's kind of to the left how I have it on my head. And they were like, well, you know about gangsters and vice lords? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not in the gang. I don't know, like, I'm not in the gang, so I don't choose a gang or anything. I just like to wear my hat. He was like, ain't none of that. Like, if you choose to wear your hat to the left, that means you represent Vice Lord. Or if you choose to wear your hat to the right, that means you with us, with the six, with GD. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, but I ain't in no gang. He was like, well, don't let me see your hat turn to the left no more. And I'm like, all right, man, I'll just take my hat off. It ain't even that serious. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to see your hat to the left no more. I'm like, all right. So they leave, get ready to leave. And then the last dude, like, he, like, cocked back as hard as he could, like, to punch me in my face. He punched me, and I fell back, like, on that table. And I came up like, but I was like, you hit like a girl. That's what I was thinking. I was mad, but I did. He swole like this side of my face, like my nose, that was swollen. It had a knot there, and I was so enraged. I remember the fire that shot up through me, and I was like, God, I am so angry right now. Like after they left, and so I went home and I talked to my pops, my step pops at that time, and I'll talk to y'all about him. The relationship got real bad, but this was a good time at this point with him. But he was very instrumental in what happened next and me trusting the Creator, me trusting God. And so I was talking to him after those guys did that to me. And I'm like, I go in the house and I'm like, uh, Pop, like these dudes just jumped me. Like they didn't physically jump me, but they bullied me. They had me cornered. They, like hovered over me. And I'm like, look how little I am. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be in this neighborhood, new here to these projects, and be having to watch my back like that. I'll take care of it myself. I will get whatever weapon I need, and I will take care of this situation for myself. And he was like, no, Daryl, no, no, D, no, no. I need you to go in the room right now and talk to God about it. Just go in the room, pray, and talk to God about it. And I was like, okay, all right, that's what I'm going to do then. And so I had the most rawest conversation with God. I told God, if you do not do something about these guys, I'm not gonna live like looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life. And so if you do not handle this situation for me, I need you to help me in this situation. I need your help because I'm little and that's a bunch of dudes. I will get a gun, I will get a knife, I will get whatever I need to protect myself, but I'm not gonna live like this. And so the next day, y'all, I'm talking about the next day. I'm coming from home from school and I'm walking down because it's like this slant going down into my projects and then it kind of curves. By the time I curve and I see these dudes, like a bunch of dudes lined up against the wall, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the dudes that came up and tried to like harass me and terrorize me. That's the same dudes. They were all on their knees with their hands behind their heads and behind their backs. And it was like God was talking to me like, I told you, I'm always here for you. I'm always going to be here for you. You can trust me. And the timing of them guys being there for me to see my justice and it's happened over and over and over and over again in many, many situations. As long as I'm not the evildoer, because if I am and I have been, I don't say evildoer, but I've done immoral things, and I always paid for it. Anything you do that you shouldn't do, you're gonna pay for it. That's why I don't do that no more. I can consider myself a blameless soul on this earth because I do not cause harm to people to the utmost of my ability. I'm very mindful of what I do, and so I've grown a lot. But that's through trusting the Creator and having very trying times, through very difficult times. I still have grown to become the best me, and I'm not perfect in any stretch of the imagination, but I'll give you the best me. I'll tell you who I am, and you can trust it. Like, what you see is what you get with me. I'm not trying to act. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to be a rapper. I'm not trying to be like some image. None of that. I'm just D. So I'm gonna end this, y'all. But this is how I'm connected to the Creator. I could do a part two and just go on and on and on with this because it's happened over time and it keeps advancing to where now I'm in a place where I'm reading tarot. I do like spiritual music. I've always done spiritual music, and a lot of it was religion based, and now it's more like truth, love, and natural law based. But a lot of spirituality in my songs. My last song was talking about how we're magic. We're all magic. But we got to tap into the magic, and that's who I am. I tap into my magic. I use my magic in my art, and all of my art is basically universal for everybody. I don't discriminate. I don't like pick sides. My side is the truth. So if it ain't true, I can't go with that. Like Daryl Hall and John Oates, I can't go with that, and I won't. It has to be true, and I can stand on what's true. You know, so that'll do it. Thank y'all so much for your time and your attention. This is D with D's Divine Tarot. More videos coming. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bye now.